Hi, hello, and welcome to Marvelously Married.
Hi,
I'm Haley.
I'm Hoagie.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, first time.
Yeah, first time. You're pretty cute.
Our guest this week is Haley and
Yeah. Hi.
and Bernard.
And Bernard, not Chloe.
Yeah, well,
She's here too.
So
Hi.
this is a podcast.
Happy day. This is a podcast. Welcome to the show. We are Marvelously Married. This is a marriage podcast. So
Marriage advice podcast. Yes.
just kidding. No, it's not.
Okay.
We talk about Marvel and a lot of other things. We had a really busy week, so we have a lot of stuff to unpack. So
Yeah, we did have a busy week. It's a little too busy for my taste, and
Yes.
didn't get much sleep, especially on the weekend. So, but
Yeah.
here we are, Sunday. We
Yeah.
made it through. It's next week, technically.
we were very looking forward to recording, so very much so.
Yeah. So if you're new, there are other episodes you could have started from, but you don't have to. You can start here if this is your favorite movie for some reason.
You gotta start somewhere. This isn't a movie. This is a podcast, Hoagie.
Yeah. So I've been telling everyone. So we have the chapters in in the show notes where you can see the different topics, and if you want to skip certain things or fast forward or whatever, that is an option. On Spotify, you can click and it just goes there. And I realized that no other app does that. I thought that they did,
you
but
found that out this week.
yeah. And I was looking at other apps because I haven't got a chance to do that yet. And the show notes are not like formatted the same.
Oh, it's like one big block. It looks
One
like I
big-
typed it up, to be honest.
One big paragraph, continuous paragraph. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to look into that. But yeah, I mean, we definitely get the most of our listeners from Spotify.
Speaking of Apple,
Yeah,
we are going through a big change in our relationship.
we are breaking up with Apple Music.
Yeah, I think so. Hoagie's trying to convince me to switch to Spotify.
Unless you want to sponsor us.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
we'll switch back.
Also, though, for real, I would love to hear what everybody listens on.
Yeah,
I would like to get other people's opinions and feedback on their streaming service.
So I looked into it actually this week by accident.
Yeah, as if your week wasn't busy enough.
Well, I wanted to do a post up on my Hoagie Reviews Instagram about
Oh, yes.
reviewing and like which one I like better. But apparently Apple, the three things Apple has going for it, I guess it's better music quality.
Okay.
They're not like compressed files, but a lot of people said you'd have to have some super fancy equipment, and even with that, most people wouldn't be able to notice unless they're listening back and forth to tracks to like note it. You're not going to notice.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing I like about Apple is we never use the feature, but if you're in a car and a bunch of people are around, you can do a shared playlist where people can like add songs to the up next.
Yeah.
And the karaoke thing, you can turn down the
Yes.
vocal tracks and like read the words. You can still read the lyrics on Spotify, but you can't turn off the vocal tracks to
do
sing
like
along.
a karaoke vibe.
So we're missing out on that, but I do like Spotify's features for
And
music.
I do use Spotify for podcasts. That's what I listen on.
Me too.
But I do use Apple Music. We've been using Apple Music. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Let us know what you guys do and what you like.
Yeah,
and
if anybody
why you
has
don't.
an opinion on that, we'd love to know,
Love
because
to
we're
hear
in the
it.
middle. Like I'm on a Spotify membership right now, and Haley's on an Apple Music membership.
And he just teaches me new things about the app every day.
Yeah, we do a
Tells
little
me-
lesson once a day. But yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, we also have questions that each episode has like a featured question or a poll. And if you want to interact with the show, that way you can.
Do we
you
pick
can
that
do
question?
Yeah. I
Okay,
do,
so
yeah.
you usually pick it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do a question or a poll for every episode. Other ways to get in contact with us.
We have an email address, marvelouslymarried@gmail.com.
Yes, from the
Look us up on the old IG, Instagram,
Yep.
at Marvelously Married, all one word.
Yes, and
Those are ways to reach out.
yeah, and
We've had quite a few people interacting with us, and I've been loving that. Some different emails, some comments, stuff like that, and that just makes me so happy. So we might not bring everything up all the time when we're on the podcast, but just know that you're continuing the conversation in the in our household.
Yes, we're talking about you.
Yeah, exactly. So
all
thank
good
you.
things.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to start actually reading so if you leave us a review, that helps us out, or a rating to review, and the interactions on Spotify, and it helps us show up in the search results more. And I have seen, like, Spotify actually tells us how often we show up in search results, and there's been an uptick of that. So thanks for the support,
happening.
everybody.
Wow.
It's like bigly.
That's so crazy to me. I still that's so weird.
Yeah.
I love it so much though, because I know that we have people that listen that like we used to be able to like be more connected with and stuff, and it just makes makes my heart so happy to feel like reconnected in some way, and like they're hearing from us, and if they write in, we get to hear from them, and it's just it's great. So
yeah, I had there was another podcast I did. We had many episodes. It was another Marvel podcast I did with a buddy. And we met a lot of people. There was a lot of people, like, cross-country, people we didn't know.
Yeah,
a lot of interaction that way. But there wasn't a lot of interaction with people we did know. And then this podcast has been different because there's a lot of people we do know that we're reconnecting with. And, like, that's a lot of fun, too. So both are fun.
Yes.
Love it. And I do want to start, like, we'll feature some things. I want to start reading the comments on Spotify. So I got some catching up to do. So on our first episode, the Marvels, we got 3 comments so far. Sarah says, "I am team spoiler." So we talked about spoilers.
Yes. And you are too as well, right?
I do, and I've asked, like, I'll talk about this later, but X-Men 97, the animated series, is out right now, and I'm not watching it because I'm still trying to do the Star Wars watch through, and I've been telling, like, Levi messaged me, and I was like, yeah, just tell me. I'm all about spoilers right now. I have seasons with it sometimes. Okay. Yeah, it depends on the movie too.
That's fair.
So, and I don't know. I'm just gonna read, like, the names. I know who these people are, but I'm just gonna read the names that are on Spotify just in case you want your identity hidden. I don't know. Deadeye887 says, "Can't wait to start this adventure with y'all." So that was on the first episode. And Janae says, "Love hearing your voices, guys."
Yay.
And then on, I think, episode 2, where we talked about the Oscars, and the question that week, the first question was just the generic one. What did you think about this episode? So on the next episode, we talked about the Oscars, and the magnificent Ryan said, "Did someone get slapped this year?" Because I said, "What's your favorite moment from the Oscars?"
I remember when you read that question to me at first, I was like, is that a thing? Like, people are getting slapped? And then Hoagie was like, it was a thing.
It was a thing one time.
I was like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Generally, no.
Generally, no. Hopefully not.
We'll here and there, we might, pick a Instagram comment or message or, email or whatever, and maybe talk about those on the show. So we got email from our friend Kelly. Hey pod, first time listener, first time comment. Yeah. I take umbrage with Hoagie's assertion that Marvel will provide more to talk about than reality TV. Hello, Deal or No Deal Island, Family Karma. No way Marvel has the upper hand here.
Yes.
She also said she felt like she was hanging out with us when she listened to the pod. And a lot of people have said that, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Virtual hang.
Yes.
So that was in response to the Marvels, and she is absolutely right. Like, I guess we got to make a correction there, because yes, reality TV, although we don't watch any of the shows that she was talking about,
but I know of them.
Yes.
And I try and, like, I'll see things and whatever, but Hoagie doesn't really follow reality TV at all.
Yeah, just certain shows. But
he didn't even know what Deal or No Deal was.
I did too.
Lies.
Okay. Deal or No Deal's been out forever.
I know, that's why I was so surprised.
It's not even reality TV, it's a game show. But I think the Island one is more reality TV. Yeah. But yeah, definitely there's way more content, hours of content for reality TV than Marvel. So I was wrong. My mistake there. Sorry, Kelly.
Please don't cancel us.
Please don't cancel your subscription. Everybody, like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Depends on if you're on YouTube or Deezer or Spotify. They all have different terms. But, we would love it if you do that.
Yay.
One thing that we do as, like, an icebreaker on this show is we have something called our D20 Question. We do this every week. You can submit questions by email, and we will fill in a slot with your question. You can submit questions any other way, any way you can get a hold of us.
Email's really best because I don't like seeing the questions.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
you don't have the email on
I
your
don't
phone,
have
do
the
you?
email, yeah.
Yeah. So
But it's fine. We won't be mad
just
if
look
you
away.
send anywhere.
Look away
Yeah.
if you see it, and tell me to go
So
read.
am I rolling my dice?
Yes. So what we do is we have the spreadsheet with 20 questions on it. You can, like I said, you can submit to the spreadsheet, or we can just find some online. We do have a few in there that are listener/friend entered. But there are 20 questions. Haley rolls a 20-sided die, and then we talk about it.
If this was going to be number 12, I was going to be real mad.
Why?
It's not. Because I feel like we've gotten number 12 before. Like multiple times. 16.
16. Where should we go on our next date?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to make a decision right here.
Oh, really? Well, so I really want to go on a date to the zoo. Remember I asked you that the other day?
Which zoo?
Binder Park.
Okay.
Just like go walk and...
The giraffes. Something familiar. We've been to Binder Park many times.
Yeah, but it's been a really long time.
Okay.
But that was like a bigger... That's probably not going to be our next. That's probably not going to be our next. That's going to be this summer.
Okay.
Like,
well, you failed at that question.
I know.
So.
Am I off the pod?
Yeah.
Did I just get kicked off?
You got -1 point on D20 this week.
What do you think our next date should be?
I don't know. It's probably going to be like somewhere to eat, right? I don't know. That's what we usually do for
yeah,
dates.
we've kind of been homebodies. We haven't been going out as much, although I feel like we ate out a lot this week. But
it's mostly takeout.
Yeah.
But
maybe a movie. We haven't gone to a movie in a long time.
Maybe tomorrow, or for us in 2 days, maybe on Tuesday.
So do we have to do that date this week?
Well,
Just
we
curious.
don't have to.
Okay, there's no rules.
But
we make the rules.
there is a rule. This is our next date, so it can be in 2
we
weeks.
Can't
but
do
we can't do any activities until then.
I think I'd like to try and go to a movie. What's playing?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to look it up.
We'll do it. Okay,
yeah.
so our next date is a movie night, and we'll probably talk about it on the pod.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay tuned. Thank you. So some foodie things. Oh, I actually had a D20 question follow-up question that I wanted to bounce back. I saw this on a podcast I listened to this week, and they asked the question, if you could flip a coin and what was it? I'm doing a bad job right now. Would you rather have a guaranteed $1 million or flip a coin and whatever you pick would be $1 billion if it landed on that? Because, we've been talking about the lottery. Apparently, this is the lottery podcast.
Okay.
But I saw that, and I was like, I want to know what Hoagie would say, so I'll just kind of bring it up on the fly.
So a guaranteed $1 million or flip a coin, and if it's heads, you get a $1 billion.
$1 billion, yeah.
I think I would take the $1 million.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I do like to gamble. Gambling's fun, but like that's a big gamble to miss out on $1 million.
$1 million. Yeah, it's not like 1,000 or or $1 billion.
But like I as millennials, we're
broke.
I often think about retirement and like worry about it. And then try not to think about it.
And then we just start a podcast instead.
Yes. So, and then it's like, I'll do a podcast, take my mind off it, and focus on other things. Yeah. That's why this started. No, but yeah, having like $1 million, I think, to pay off our house and car loan or whatever, and then save it for retirement, and maybe take a vacation here.
Yeah,
and there,
yeah.
But
go to the movies.
Yeah, go to the movies here and there. Make a movie, maybe.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Make a short film.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So also I wanted to know what you're drinking today, Hoagie.
Oh, well, another comment we got was, a message we got was in response with Sarah was in Solitas with me about weaning off purple drink.
Yes.
Which for the most part I have not done. But the last few days...
He's had nothing but Baja Blast Mountain Dew.
That's true. That's true. I'm falling behind on sleep. But I have also had some water with fruit in it.
Yes.
The last, 3 or 4 days. And
that's good.
It's like creeping me out right now because...
Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
I think we have to though, because you said that.
Yeah, I mean, so I just put what I do is I put like frozen fruit medleys in, and there's like on top there's this floating mysterious strawberry that's like basically white instead of the color it's supposed to be.
It's not cute
because it's been in there since yesterday, and
he does keep it in the fridge. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, I keep it in the fridge, so I think the fruit can last like 2 days. Usually that's my limit, and then I change the fruit out. But
yeah.
This one's kind of weird.
Send thoughts and prayers, please.
Thoughts and prayers.
I'm drinking coffee today.
Oh, yeah.
A little caramel macchiato vibe.
Ooh,
it's pretty tasty.
Very nice.
Keeping me going. So
recommendations for air fryers. We'll take that as well.
Oh, yeah. Our air fryer caught on fire yesterday. So I love that. That air fryer has been through a lot, though. So, like, you know, she's done the most.
Yeah.
Speaking of our air fryer, we had lots of yummy food this week, though.
Yeah.
We're
we're just getting to the foodie a second time?
A second time? Did we talk about it?
I'm just keeping notes of.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we had lots of good food this week.
We did.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about some of your favorites?
Yeah. We went to a local brewery. In our town, there's only one, so anybody local and friends of ours already knows what we're talking about. But we got takeout.
Yeah.
I misunderstood the assignment and got myself 2 meals, so I had one the next day.
He did. He definitely did. He basically got 3 burgers. No, just kidding. It's growing in number.
Yeah.
But we met up with our buddy Ron, who we haven't seen in such a long time.
Yes.
And we went to the dog park, and then we got food to go. So.
That must have been, was that last Sunday?
No, that was last Saturday.
Last Saturday. I think we recorded before that.
Yeah.
And we did watch a movie with that food.
Yes.
We'll bring that up in the next section, on the next part of our outline. We also have a new standard for taquitos
in our home.
They were from Meyer.
Yeah, El Monterey brand, I think.
Yeah, and they have had them before, but they
have like a new
breading.
shell situation. They're the extra crunchy chicken ones with black beans and corn.
Oh yeah.
They were really good.
I was almost like, I had like 7 or 12 of them. And I was on like the last one. I was like, these would have been good with some corn inside. And Haley's like, there's literally a piece of corn like
sticking out the end of
your taquito.
And he was like, oh.
Yeah. It was good with corn, it turns out.
And I made a like homemade guac with those. That was good.
Oh yeah. And I had some Cholula, of course.
And we also did something fun while we ate those, but we'll get to that in our next segment.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
No.
The Eras Tour.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was Eras Tour.
Wow, Hoagie. Are you even a fan?
So Friday, we went to a local place on the river, a tavern on the river. And we had I had pork nachos that have like a golden barbecue on them.
And they make homemade soups there, and I love a cup of soup at a restaurant. I just love a cup of soup.
Did you get soup that night?
I did, yeah.
Oh, after I left.
got cheesy cauliflower.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
oh,
it was really tasty. And then I got the stuffed mushrooms with like the ham and cream cheese.
Ooh.
Those now come in a small portion and a large portion. So.
Yeah.
But this is a place that Hoagie and I used to frequent pretty often.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to go back. We haven't been there in a very long time. So
yeah,
it was fun.
I don't really drink anymore.
Yeah.
I do, but like not, I don't.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
two beer Hoagie. So I don't really go to bars anymore.
And just like the calories of eating out is like,
and the cost.
Yeah.
But we'd like to go out. We used to do it a lot more frequently.
Yeah, and I feel like we were much unhealthier. TBH.
Yeah.
Not that living off taquitos is probably top tier version of health.
Sure. But avocados are good for you. They got those omega-3s.
Hashtag balance. And then last night we had Little Caesars.
Well, particularly
hashtag balance. Pizza puffs.
Yes. We did get a lot of takeout. Don't talk about balance this week. Like,
there was no balance.
Don't draw attention to it.
We were in survival mode because it was such a busy week.
It was very, very much allotted to activities all week long.
Yeah.
Except for like Monday.
Yeah.
But that was old.
That
feels
was
like an eternity
eclipse.
ago. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get to do that together.
No, we didn't. You were at work and then I stopped at home, and anyways. But yeah, the pizza puff things from Little Caesars, they're good. I liked them. They're
Yeah.
cute. They're like little pizza cupcakes.
We got the cheese and Parmesan. Wait,
Yeah.
Parmesan is a cheese.
Herb. Good job.
Thanks.
Herb.
Herby Parmy.
Trademark.
Herby Parmy puffs. We also got pepperoni. They were both good. I like the pepperoni more. Haley liked the Herby Parmy.
No, I like the pepperoni more because they had a crispier crust. But I do think I liked the Herby Parmy flavor better. But I liked how much more done the pepperoni ones were.
I mean, I don't think that's going to be consistent.
On to the next thing.
Well, you had another thing to add to Foodie this week.
Oh, yes. So we had a friend reach out, and she made a comment about just like kitchen tips and tricks and things like that. Like, I think I had told her one time a trick about regrowing your green onions, or something. And
Haley used to have a column in a local newspaper.
Yeah.
Like an online magazine type newspaper. And she had a column that had like cooking, and you also had some cleaning tips. And you're a house cleaner.
Yeah, I clean houses
and
for my
pretty
job.
much Michelin star chef. So
yeah, my taquitos.
Don't do that in the mic ever again.
Sorry. I'll have to remember that. But yeah, so I'm gonna be thinking about different things as my weeks are going on. A different I do this and it makes this so much easier and those sorts of things to come and relay those to you guys. It's not gonna be a guaranteed thing every week because I've only got so many tips and tricks. Okay. But I am going to try and keep y'all in the loop on some fun things. So this is my first official one. This has been my new favorite thing I've been doing now for probably about the past 6 months. Of course, I'm sure I saw it on a TikTok or something. I am like an onion girly, I put onion on literally
things
everything.
That it doesn't make. I mean, you do this with broccoli too and spinach
yeah,
but onions bigly.
I love
always getting
onions.
extra onions. Yeah.
So I've been pre-slicing sliced onions for the week to keep in the fridge, which was my first little thing that was you know what, I can just have them on hand. I can put them on sandwiches, put them on salads, put them in my cereal.
Well, and you have
kidding.
a special container for that. Amazon, I'm assuming.
No, you got me that onion container.
Is that a birthday gift?
It was Christmas or something.
Well, good for me.
Yeah, it's a cute little onion. It looks like a little onion.
Yeah, it's a little onion.
A purple onion.
Yep.
But what
They're
I've been
called
doing.
red onions, Haley.
I think they're both.
There's no such thing.
Okay, is this your tips and tricks segment?
Okay.
Anyways, but rinse the red onion or the onion, whatever kind of onion you pre-slice. Put it in some cold water, an ice bath, give it a little zhuzh. It breaks all the little slices up, which is nice to have them all apart. But then it takes that edge off of a raw onion, and you just really get more of the sweet onion flavor instead of the making your breath stink onion nast. So yeah, rinse your red onions or whatever onions if you like to keep red onions in the fridge.
Yeah, I think that was a very good change to our household because you had a lot of onions and things and I didn't like it. But
did my breath stink?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But you put I'm just saying you sometimes overdo it
on the
in
onions.
my opinion.
Yeah.
On the onions.
Well, vegetables in general.
You love it. You love it. Good veggie. But
yeah.
Taking the edge off the onions makes it more tolerable. So I'm not a huge onion fan. We're opposites on that. I hope everybody heard me. Last week I commented about the knocking, and it turns out Haley's
from the dogs.
Yeah, Haley's mic cuts out a lot of it, so that was nice. But everyone might have heard Bernard hacking right there.
Just literally threw up.
Very cute.
Perfect. So cute. Love you, Bernard. Best boy ever. So we did watch some. We didn't do any reality TV this week, but we did watch the Eras tour.
Yeah.
Well, we should start from the beginning of the week, right?
There was something I wanted to mention here.
Was it the machine?
No. Yeah, I mean I will mention that,
okay,
but there was something I wanted to add that wasn't in my notes.
Oh.
And I already forgot what it was, but
well, hey, we're right here if it comes back to you.
That's
you
fine.
Just let us know.
Yeah, you want to talk about the Eras tour first?
Well, we should go and the beginning of the week. We should start with that.
Okay.
So,
we're very organized,
yes,
as you can tell from
yeah.
the last 5 minutes.
I'm sure that's why you listen.
Yes. For our superior, I do have a lot of Excel. I'm pretty good at Excel spreadsheets.
Oh my gosh, he has been really getting excited about these Excel spreadsheets.
I learned a new
guys.
formula at work this week.
It's been a lot for me, so send thoughts and prayers.
The Machine, Bert Kreischer, Mark Hamill plays the dad, and they are the two main characters.
Right.
And it was not that good of a movie, but it was still funny.
Well, so our friend Ron, we always have enjoyed watching Bert Kreischer stuff with him. We've seen all of his stand-ups. I think Bert Kreischer's really funny. But we hadn't seen this movie yet.
Yeah.
So Ron came down and we watched it. And
it was based on one of his jokes from, I think, The Machine stand-up routine.
Yeah. Which is obviously based on a true story. But anyways, it was good. It was funny. I think it's one of those things like if you like Bert Kreischer, you'll like it. But if you don't, you won't.
Yeah, I feel like there was quite a bit of it that like just wouldn't really wouldn't connect with.
I mean, even for me, it was like some parts. It's like, okay, I didn't like that or whatever. But
yeah,
that's how it is.
I mean, I'm glad I watched it, but yeah, it was not very good. Sorry.
Sorry, Bert, if you're listening.
Sorry, Bert. Your podcast is cool.
Ish.
There was another episode of Quiet on the Set. Episode 5.
Oh, yes. We watched that. It was not very good.
It was also not very good. They just talked about the same stuff.
Yeah.
They just like interviewed the people. And it was like, you talked about this in the last episode. What do you think about it now?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
There really wasn't any like new developments. It kind of felt like they created this last episode because like there was so much hype and so much like momentum going with the series that they were like wanted to like ride the wave is kind of what it felt like. Like, okay, let's put out another one.
I was really hoping like more survivors were coming forward and stuff like that. But
because a lot of these people are still like working and stuff that have literally been convicted of these crimes. So
it does
really sad.
seem like like Hollywood, especially children's television or whatever, but just Hollywood in general, like once you come forward, you just kind of get labeled as difficult and you just don't have work anymore.
Right.
I don't know. That's the impression that very sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you aren't, I mean, if you have other things to watch, maybe just skip that and watch 1 through 4 and 5
that's on HBO, right?
Yeah. The Eras Tour movie.
So good. I've now seen it 3 times this week.
Really?
That's what I've been so busy doing.
I've seen it twice.
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it in its entirety 3 times, but I've had it on like at the house.
Very long.
Yes, very long.
Yes.
It was good though.
The editing is very good on this concert film. They actually so they filmed it over 3 days. And I'm not sure. So I know 2 of the songs at least were from days 2 and 3, but they were like from the acoustic set.
Okay.
So like the piano version of "You're on Your Own, Kid" was from like the 3rd day, and can't remember, but
wow, you can't even tell.
Yeah, and I mean you can because there's definitely like a cut, and they're like, this is the acoustic set.
Oh, but like I thought it was the same night.
Yeah, and they took. There was like 100 microphones throughout like SoFi Stadium at different like places to make it feel like it was like a concert, and they would blend different nights, like the better, like if night 2 was better in this part, they would just blend everything together to make like the perfect audio track. So a lot went into making this movie.
I just cannot believe her. Like.
Yeah.
She's like otherworldly or something, because like to be doing this every night and the stamina, I mean, you know a lot about that because you're basically a performer. No, I'm just kidding. But you know about all the work that she did. You were telling me.
Yeah. I mean, she would, a lot of people have talked about this already, but I mean, she would, go and on the just a second, I'm making a little scratch note and I can't do 2 things at once.
That's okay.
Sorry.
No, okay.
But she would go on the treadmill and like kind of do a fast walk on the slow songs, and then she would jog on the fast songs and sing through it like 3 hours, 3.5, whatever, on the treadmill like every night for months in preparation. And she did her choreography like for 3 months, like way longer than what was necessary. One, like dancing's not really her strong suit. But she wanted to be able to like interact with the crowd or do different things and then jump right back into it without like struggling or, you know, having to look at her dancers and be like, oh shoot, what step are we on? You know, and so, I mean, it definitely paid off. I just don't know, like, I mean, how does your voice, because a 3-hour concert, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
And she's doing it like every night. She must just not talk. Like when people approach her, she's just probably like
silent.
Do not talk to me. Yeah.
And how does she like not get sick and stuff? Like all that traveling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she has her own jet, but still, like, I mean, she eats a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, she must.
She must have a smoothie every morning.
Yeah. Basically just like us.
Yes. Brussels sprouts and radish and gross stuff in it. To keep you healthy. But yeah, that's incredible. She hasn't like canceled one, as far as I know. She hasn't canceled anything.
Well, even that one that our friend went to in Nashville, the rain one, that one still happened.
She played in the rain in Nashville.
Even though it was late or whatever, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So this, she actually made this film on her own expense. So other studios just like weren't really interested. So big, huge payoff for her. Sucks to suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because she made it, like she gets that in her pocket instead. But you know, the film itself, highest grossing concert film of all time, past Michael Jackson, This Is Us. That was worldwide, and then Justin Bieber, Never Say Never was the biggest one for the US, and she passed that as well. Never Say Never was a good one too.
Didn't she have her Reputation tour was on concert on
they
streaming,
took it
right?
They took it off. That was such a bummer.
Okay,
I like that one. But I just found out there's a folklore one, which has been up for a few years, but
I don't think that that's a concert. I think that it's like kind of behind the scenes, because it was like all done during the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Because it came out in 2020.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to watch that.
Yeah.
That was on Disney.
As far as the tour itself, highest grossing tour of all time. Previously, that was Elton John, his Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. She's past that. I got lots of fun facts about the Eras tour and the film. So she was able to promote this during the strikes because she met all the demands that the SAG-AFTRA was giving to the studios. Like she was just like, how can we do this? I want to be able to promote. Like, what do we need to do? And they were like, here's our demands. She was like, okay. So, she was able to do that because the SAG-AFTRA Alliance Guild Union, they have more than just actors in there. So I found that out because I was like, there were no actors, but like even backup dancers are like in that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So her opening night in Arizona broke a record previously held by Madonna for most attended female artists in the U.S. Day one. Like her first opening night broke that record previously held by Madonna.
Wow.
Tina Turner still holds that worldwide, but big time. That was in Brazil. It was 180,000 people. So Taylor's biggest performance so far was in Sydney, 96K. So it's like not even close. Yeah, but maybe someday. Yeah. I mean when
180,000 people in one place.
That's crazy. Yeah, I would not want to go.
Wow.
That would freak me out.
Yeah.
But I bet like when Taylor has like her farewell tour, like that's gonna be crazy. You know?
So I got to go see, I think like in 2014, see Cher in concert, and I just like that's really the only like really big concert epic production I've been to, and it was absolutely incredible. But it really helped me like appreciate watching the Eras tour so much more because I just like remember that feeling of being there and just like being in absolute awe of everything that's going on. So yeah, that was just amazing. I really loved it.
So this is something pretty cool, I guess, but I've seen news articles about this, but there's the Swift quake in Seattle. Have you seen this? There was, basically the fans caused a 2.3 magnitude earthquake in Seattle.
From what? Dancing to Shake It Off?
Yeah, particularly that. I can't remember which song it was like the peak, but yeah, it was.
Wow.
We'll say it's Shake It Off. For sure. Yeah. Ticketmaster. So the Ticketmaster crash. So.
Yes.
Despite it crashing, so on the first day. Over 2 million tickets were sold that day, even with the crash, and that's the most for any artist any day ever since Ticketmaster started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Big deal.
So we also went to a Kanin Wren performance. And,
Yes.
if you don't know who that is, that's fine. But she's a Taylor Swift cover act.
Yes. We went to that last night. That's why maybe if I sound a little hoarse from singing and stuff, but wasn't the best like Taylor Swift cover. I mean, a lot of the songs didn't really like meet the mark for Taylor Swift. I mean, they were Taylor Swift songs, but like they weren't there. They weren't there.
I didn't like it. Like the act itself, I didn't like. She slowed down a lot of songs.
Yeah.
She put a more acoustic country twist on all the songs.
Like I think she'd be a better Carrie Underwood.
She would do really well as Carrie Underwood, but
yeah.
she wouldn't sell out as many rooms.
Right. But it was super cool to be in a room full of Swifties.
Yeah.
Belting Taylor Swift songs.
The crowd was the best part. The violin player.
Yes, she was so good.
She was the best performer, and the crowd was really fun.
Yes,
to be in. So
so it was a good time. We had a good time.
Overall fun. I wouldn't probably go again, but
no. But we did it. Yeah. And it was good.
And we had outfits. I was Folklore. Our friend Becca was Lover, and Haley was Midnight.
Yes, and shout out to Becca for putting together my dress for me.
Yes, completely, top to bottom.
Yeah, she sewed. Days and days of just sewing and
just like Taylor's outfits. It took months. Actually.
But we had star patches. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen our pictures, but it was Midnight's theme, and I loved it so much. It made me so happy.
Yeah, it was really cool.
We looked really cute.
Yeah. Well, everyone kept walking up and like compliment, which like I mean, just enjoy. Like as a guy, nobody compliments guys' outfits. Like that's just not a thing that happens. So like it's fine. I'm used to it. Being out with you guys, I'm used to like women coming up to you and like complimenting you guys and like like ignoring me. That's fine. But everyone was like, "Oh, look, Midnight's and Lover," and then they just kind of look at me, and I'm like, "Folklore."
Yeah.
I
know, I felt bad.
But it was, I mean, Folklore. So like Folklore's definitely a pretty boring. I mean, I just wear like a plaid shirt. I did wear like a beanie. I had the shoes that I think were perfect. I was like Googling like men's outfits and and I just had jeans and a flannel on. But like I had to be true to my, like, I'm in my Folklore era right now. That's my favorite album at this moment. And so I wanted, and I thought about doing like 1989 or Reputation, but ultimately it was like, I've been listening to Folklore a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad that you stayed true to yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. We shouldn't do it any other way.
I also had a big D&D weekend.
Yes. This is not a D&D podcast, but we will take some time to talk about this week. Just kidding.
Well, it's this wasn't a group activity though, so we don't really have to touch on it, but I got to play D&D 2 days in a row. Once as a DM, once as a player.
In your first time DMing.
It was.
So maybe say something about that, what that was like.
It was fun. It was with a group of very experienced players. They were all DMs themselves. And I liked the way they did things as far as players and the choices they made, and they caught me off guard quite a few times, and so I think it was a very good experience for me. There was some things I would do differently in the way I prepare and the way I lay out my notes and organize myself at the table. But it
and that was just like a one-off campaign situation, right?
Yes, it was. It lasted about like 4 or 5. It went from like 7:30 to like midnight.
Yeah.
And I was ready to go to like 3, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah, some of the guys were starting to get really tired and asked me to hurry it up.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But you are working on writing your own campaign.
Yeah.
Still, right?
Maybe we'll get into that. Like, or I mean, we won't get into it on this podcast.
Yeah.
But maybe I will get into that.
Anyways, I'm glad that you got to do some fun D&D stuff this week.
Thanks. What else? Did we do anything else this week?
I think that was pretty much it.
Great. So if we can get into some Marvel.
Well, we did watch a movie, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So we have some Marvel rumors and some other like comic sort of, rumors. Yeah, this first one's not great. Jonathan Majors sentenced to a year of counseling.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was his sentence.
What do you think about that?
I think the case, he messed up. It seems like there were 2 other women that were saying bad stuff about him, but like I just haven't heard more about that, so I don't know. Like, is there credibility? Like, I feel like then say it, then broadcast it, then bring it forward, because if he is a bad guy, like right now, I think personally, there's room for him to come back into Hollywood. Like, he goes through this counseling, he comes out, makes a statement about how he's changed. He does an interview with Barbara Streisand. No,
Barbara Streisand.
I can't.
It's a musical interview. He's entering into the musical career.
No, who's the lady that does the
Barbara
interviews?
Walters.
Barbara Walters. Yeah. So yeah, and he says changed. He admits his mistakes. And he comes back. I think that might happen. I don't think Disney or Marvel will take him back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just because it just what happened. Like, he was trying to get his cell phone back from this woman. Like, it's not like he just decked her.
Yeah.
You know, he was aggressive. And, he was trying to get his cell phone away because she had his cell phone, and, he was hiding something, and they kind of wrestled, and people saw it. And so it's like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say it's not a big deal. Like, I mean, you can read more about the case and, decide for yourself. But, I just think given what happened and with this light sentencing, it's just like, I don't know, the guy's going to come back. And, like, fine. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people mess up. And I think he's a fantastic actor. He's skilled in that department. But if more people come forward and, then this guy probably shouldn't have a career. I don't think it would be a good idea. But just this like one incident where, I don't know, maybe he was drinking that night and alcohol
made a mistake.
I don't know. But don't cancel me if you don't agree with me. Just talk to me. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Just tell me I'm wrong.
I'm so sorry if I said something wrong.
Bless your heart.
The 21st century is dangerous.
It is. It's rough out there, folks.
So Robert Downey Jr. says he's willing to return as Iron Man. It's too integral a part of my DNA. I will always say never ever bet against Kevin Feige. So I think that was cool to hear, like that he's saying like this is me, this is part of my story, and I love the MCU.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's been long enough since Endgame.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and those are like some of my favorite movies, that series, and seeing him and all the tech and stuff like that. So would love to see that again.
Yeah.
No complaints from me.
So Joker, Folie à Deux, if I'm saying, I don't speak French. But there was a teaser trailer that came out on Tuesday this week.
Oh, yeah, we haven't watched. Well, did you watch it?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mm. So there was many little clips that were parallels to the first movie, only it's Lady Gaga doing like the same stuff that he was doing in the first movie.
Oh.
So yeah,
I want to watch that trailer today.
I'm very excited for this movie.
When does it come out?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's people that are very upset that it's a musical and they don't like it, and they just should have been a standalone movie. But like, pretty sure this guy was asked to make a different one, like a second one. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they were planning. So I think he's like, fine, I'll do a second one, but I want to do something different. And I don't know, if you don't want to see it, don't go see it. I'm just there's too much negativity about movies that haven't come out yet. Yeah, right. And so
Let's just wait for them to come out and then make a decision.
Deadpool and Wolverine merch might be confirming kid pool, head pool, dog pool, and baby pool. So all these different variants.
So it's like
of
a T-shirt with them all on it.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's many merch that dropped, but so we'll be seeing many variants of Deadpool in this movie.
Yeah, do you know when that Deadpool movie comes out?
I think this year.
Okay.
No, it can't be.
I don't remember.
Maybe it's next year. They're still. I think they're still
filming
producing it. Yeah, okay. So must be next year.
Yeah.
But, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin getting an R-rated film. My first reaction in my notes, I wrote hot sauce, but then I was like, no, I got to change that. So I wrote cowabunga. But yeah, the last Ronin, like we used to do a little comic book sales show. We would buy and sell, and when the last Ronin comic came out, that was a huge deal. So people love that.
Yeah, I
Very excited
remember
for
that. They had really cool covers, right? I think.
Yeah, very good. I mean, he's the last one of the Ninja Turtles all by himself, and
I'm not gonna lie, that did always confuse me though, because of what's his name from MCU, Ronin.
Okay.
I'd be like, is this and then you'd be like, oh no, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm like, I can't keep this stuff straight.
Oh my gosh. So the X-Men 97, I haven't even brought it up on this show, but
yeah.
I mean, I did earlier this episode for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, something I want to watch. I'm doing this like Star Wars, watch through, and I'm into a bunch of stuff that I don't really like. It's like the end of the saga. I haven't watched the last movie yet, and like, a bunch of different like cartoons and stuff that like not the good ones, like Resistance. It's not very good, and like Visions. I mean, it's I think it's cool, but it's just not part of a story.
Okay.
They're like little one-off things, and anyway, so I'm taking a long time to get through this when I should just like try to better. But after that, I'm gonna watch X-Men 97. I'm gonna watch from the beginning and then watch the new stuff. But I think like the 5th episode just came out, and like
of the new one.
Yeah, spoiler, like bunch of people died and
wow.
main characters dying and stuff, and it sounds really cool.
Wow.
I'm all about that.
So is that all on Disney then? The X-Men old 97. So is the new one still called X-Men 97?
So the old one was never called that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see.
It was just X-Men, and then people refer to it as X-Men the Animated Series.
Okay.
And then this new one is called X-Men 97, referring to from the cartoon that started in 1987.
Oh, that is so cool.
And I think they might do it with Spider-Man the Animated Series as well.
Oh,
it'd be like Spider-Man
nice.
98 or whatever. Yeah.
That's cool.
Which is another good one.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have any more rumors?
Those are all the rumors.
Well, I have a little rumor.
Wow.
Something that I saw. So I listened to, I was struggling on when to talk about this, but I decided now's the time. I listened to a podcast called Wiser Than Me with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And she interviews, women that are older than her, and just like talks about aging and stuff like that. And like, they're usually in industry people, like musicians or whatever. So it talks about all that, them being women and aging in these industries. Well, she just did an episode with Bonnie Raitt. I think I'm saying that right. The musician. And they were talking about Bonnie has this white streak in her hair. That's like a natural gray streak. And
that's
so,
cool.
Yeah. And so they were kind of talking about that. And she said, Bonnie said that her dad's hospice care worker had said, I've been kissed by an angel is what that means, that you've been kissed by an angel. And Julia was talking about how she's in a Marvel movie on the podcast because she plays who again?
Oh, is she Madam? She's not Madam Hydra, but
yeah, I think that's who she plays, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
No. Shoot, I'm sorry. I should have looked into that more. My bad.
Yeah.
But plays a villain on one of the movies that's coming out. And she's been kind of in stuff like we know she's coming. Anyway, she talks about in the podcast how she wants to use that line, I've been kissed by an angel, because she has a white streak in the show, in the movie, in her hair. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to tell everyone. So whenever she comes out in whatever movie it is,
yes.
I'll come back to that next week and confirm. But look out for that phrase for her to say, I've been kissed by an angel, because it literally all happened on that podcast.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. So that's my Marvel rumor.
Okay.
So mealtime, movie time, TM trademark time. We watched Ghost Rider this week, and we had surprise food to go.
Yeah.
We got tacos.
Yeah.
At our favorite local taco place here.
Formerly the food truck, formerly the taco food truck, now
an establishment
in a brick and mortar / pole barn.
So we always get the same thing from there. We usually always get the combination platter, the 4 tacos, the chicken, steak, chorizo, ground beef, a side of beans and rice, and they have tamales, which are like these huge tamales that they make in like banana leaves. But I went in to order this week, and I was so excited because they had on their menu for the first time tortas.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and Hoagie loves tortas.
I do.
And you haven't had one in a very long time.
Right.
Which is like a Mexican sandwich is what they call that, right? It's like this homemade bread. It's super good. So I got him a steak torta instead of the tamales this week. And it was a good sandwich. It was very big. It was very large.
Yeah. I wish the bread would have been toasted.
A little crispier.
I think that would have made it better. But there's a new Mexican restaurant that just opened.
Oh yeah.
Like they didn't really even announce it. Just all of a sudden there's
opening.
Just people. There was just people inside, and then somebody posted on Facebook they're open. I don't know, but yeah. Maybe it was a soft opening.
Yeah.
But I think people have been going to it. But yeah, they have. I saw it because they released their menu a couple weeks ago. And they had tortas, so.
Oh, we got some competition. We got a little torta. You'll have to do a review on your Instagram.
I'll have to. There'll have to be one place I go to for tacos and one place I go to for tortas.
Yeah,
if it's
good.
We'll decide which one's best.
But anyways, we always love their food. It's so authentic and just amazing. So we had that to eat while we watched Ghost Rider.
Yeah, Ghost Rider. So first time watching.
Yeah.
Never watched it before. Nobody ever.
You said first time watching, never watching again. I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's ever really pushed me to watch it or encouraged me to watch it, so I never have, and I see now why nobody really talks about it. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, what year did this movie come out again?
2007.
Oh, I felt like it was 1997.
The CGI was definitely from the 80s.
Yeah. So what's Ghost Rider's story? He's like, you talk about that.
Yeah, okay, so Mephisto is, I think in like Greek mythology is like one of the demons or the, lieutenants of the devil. But in the Marvel universe, Mephisto's pretty much the main devil. There's some other things like there's the one below all, but basically for the most part, Mephisto is like the devil in the MCU. But so he basically he gives someone, sometimes not willingly, he tricks people into being his Ghost Rider, and the Ghost Rider collects souls for Mephisto, pretty much. So in this movie, it starts off with like a Western.
Yeah, and I was like, this is a Western movie?
Yeah, very weird. And yeah, so I mean, by description you can tell this, but this is part of the MCU horror genre. I'm hoping, we see Ghost Rider in the MCU at some point. We'll see him with Moon Knight, and we'll see him with Doctor Strange, and maybe Morbius. It's Morbin time.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he goes and collects souls, and then he basically gets at first. So in this movie, he is unable to. He basically becomes possessed, and he doesn't have a choice. He knows what's going on, and he can talk, but he doesn't have a choice. He has to do Mephisto's bidding, and then he kind of learns his powers or becomes attuned to them, and
has control.
He's able to have a little bit more control, and by the end, he says, "I'm gonna use these powers against you." Blah blah blah. I will kill you, devil. But yeah, so that's the gist of the movie.
Yeah, starring Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
The other thing is he's a motorcycle stunt guy. So,
yes, yeah, I did like that. What's the famous motorcycle?
Evel Knievel.
Yeah. I liked how like watching it kind of. I remember Evel Knievel and stuff like that, so it was kind of cool to watch him do that stuff.
Well, fun fact.
Oh yeah, what?
About Evel Knievel, around 14 minutes in the movie, there's a head-on shot showing Johnny Blaze crashing his motorcycle on the landing after jumping a long line of trucks. So this is pretty much an identical shot to the famous Evel Knievel crash after his big jump at Caesar's Palace in December 1967.
Oh,
so yeah, there was some like ties.
Do you think that people still do that?
Do motorcycle tricks?
Yeah, like big ones like that. Is there anybody out there?
Oh, I don't. I think. I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen videos of people doing it on motorcycles and on, bicycles. It's not
okay.
as I don't. It's definitely not as a big popular thing because, and especially so Red Bull does like a lot of stunts, but they're at the point where they're jumping from space, and doing crazy things with airplanes and all
That's
that. But
dumb.
But yeah, there's still videos out there. People, and there'll be a big long ramp down the side of a mountain, and they'll jump into.
Oh my
something.
gosh, I need to look these up. That sounds interesting to me.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
You'd especially like the Wipeouts, probably.
I do love fall videos. If you guys ever see funny fall videos, forward them on to me. They're my fave. Seeing somebody totally wipe out.
Yeah, but back to the movie.
Oh yeah.
There were a couple falls. Yeah, the dad died, so that wasn't a good funny one.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I mean the way he
oh
crashed was like, there's no way that would kill somebody, and then he just died. He was just, oh my son.
It was like we were literally laughing so hard. We were like, is this really happening?
So it opens up with these young actors. It was young Tom Cruise, basically.
That's what we now call him.
And young Eva Mendes, and no, it was young Nick Cage. There was no Tom Cruise in the movie. But
we just kept calling him that.
It was so cheesy.
Oh my gosh. And she was definitely that girl when that opening scene happened. We were supposed to be led to believe that they were in high school. These folks looked like they were 25, 27. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening?
And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, we're moving away.
Yeah.
And like the dad doesn't want him to date the stupid motorcycle stunt driver and whatever. Yeah. So
it was so cheesy.
It was bad.
And like the plot, the way it like just everything moved along, it was like okay, and that like it was very funny.
I thought the movie it had some elements that were interesting and quirky, and it had the potential, but honestly, I blame the same guy did the screenwriting and he directed it, and I blame him. Sorry, bro. I thought this sucked because Nick Cage, like, he's done good movies,
Yeah, so maybe like the writing and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Nicolas Cage cracked me up in it though. Like, he's so funny. I will say that I would love to see this. Kind of popped into my mind as like a random thing. How funny would it be if Michael Flanagan did a Ghost Rider? Because he's like a horror guy.
Yeah, but I don't think he would do the stunts and the fast pace.
I know, but
yeah,
have him, to work together with like somebody who does that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd want to, but
yeah, I think it would be an interesting.
He is like our favorite horror writer for
yeah.
sure. Love Flanagan films. Can't wait till the next one comes out. We can talk about it this October.
Yes, yay. I don't know though. I don't love scary movies, but well, and even with this, it's like I don't know what I was thinking. So before we watch these movies, I never really like look up anything. Like most of them I know of or about. This one, Hoagie just like gave me a list of 3 movies and I picked one. And I've heard of Ghost Rider a little bit.
They were all bad movies.
Yes,
I was like, it's time to do a bad movie.
Right.
So.
But I didn't look up anything. So I don't know why, but I just did not. It has literally the word ghost in it. And I did not think it was I didn't know it was going to be a scary movie, like a creepy movie. And there were some creepy, scary parts. Yeah. So not a fan of those.
Well, we like we're watching Legion right now.
But I was just taken aback.
Yeah, you did ask me literally at one point, is this a horror movie? I'm like, yeah. Superhero horror movie.
Yeah. So just so you know, it is a horror movie.
So for the first act, like the setup. So basically, because I assume many people listening may not even go see this movie. So I'll just try to explain the plot.
Well, you can't go somewhere and see it. You have to watch it at home. It's not in theaters.
Thanks, Haley. So there's 4 demons, and one of them is the son of Mephisto and wants to take over. So there's 4 demons against Mephisto, and then there's like this reluctant hero, which is the Ghost Rider, which is Johnny Blaze. And so the 4 demons are trying to get this contract. I don't really understand the contract. It's literally a piece of paper, but it also contains 1,000 souls.
Yeah.
And if they collect it, it makes them more powerful. They get the souls in them. And then the guy was like, I am Legion. And because eventually, spoiler, at the end, he gets all the souls.
Yeah,
whatever. And then Ghost Rider defeats him about 30 seconds. And Yeah. But yeah, in the first act, I thought those 4 demons were the most interesting part of it.
They were so creepy looking.
I know, I
Their
loved it.
teeth.
I thought one of them.
Nasty.
I didn't know what was going on at first. I was like, "Is that like Mobius?" Because the one had the vampire kind of teeth. And
Yeah, and their hair, ew,
greasy,
not cute.
not cute. I did. I did like that whole thing of like the bad guy teams, the pitting the father against the son, and the 4 bad guys versus the one big bad guy. I really like that. You know, it wasn't like he had a bunch of like, you know, lieutenants and he had to defeat them to get to the big boss. Like it was they were against each other. They were the kind of the main story, and like Ghost Rider didn't even want to be part of this.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I was so excited to see Eva Mendes. I love her. That's her name, right?
Yeah.
I love her. I thought she was like honestly one of the best parts of this film, but her character was just like her as an actor, but like her character was like so bad. It was like so predictable, so like cheesy, and like just she came across as like that dumb girl that's like,
oh my gosh, she was there for the male gaze.
Yeah.
You know,
Which she is
horrible.
beautiful. That was like the first thing I said when she was on the screen. I was like, she is just so pretty.
Yeah, agreed. And you know, this writer, the guy who wrote the movie, and I can't even remember his name.
It makes me so sad
like,
for
have
her
you talked to a woman before
that she did this role. Like, I'm just, and I know it's an older movie.
It was very tragic.
Yeah, because it's like, man, what the heck?
Like getting when at the restaurant when they had a date, which was unbelievable in the first place. So first of all, like when they meet up again as adults, she's a reporter and she's reporting on his stunts, and like he never does interviews, but does one because it's her, but then ignores every question she has, and then just talks about, I heard you're getting married, and you know. So it was really kind of cringe because it was like, bro, like she's talking to you, like
you're not respecting her.
And then like she's giving him nothing. She literally didn't even wait to watch the stunt, drove away. And then he did the stunt and then like chased her down on the motorcycle on the highway, and then he like planted a kiss on her and she was all into it, and it was like, you were just rejecting him. It made no sense at all.
And it was like really felt like he was not respecting her like boundaries.
No. Yeah, exactly. After being rejected like multiple times, he just decides to like start sucking face. And you know,
do not recommend.
Then she's basically like throwing herself at him, and it was a mess.
And then he was like acting like a jerk, and she was like putting everything out there then, and it's like, girl, what are you doing? Don't do that.
And they set up a date, and you know, she agrees to the date or whatever, and then he doesn't show up because he had Ghost Rider duties. Which is kind of like jury duty. You get a letter in the mail, you have to go.
A contract.
But she gets drunk by herself, and like the one point pulls down on the waiter's coat. Am I pretty?
Yeah. Oh my
I'm like, it was so awful.
Yeah,
I
it was
hated it.
so bad. It made me so sad for her.
Yeah. Let's get into the CGI of this movie.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, it was so bad.
It was so bad.
I did think, here's one thing that was cool. Fun fact. They did a 3D X-ray or whatever of Nick Cage's skull, and that's what they used for the CGI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah, it seemed way bigger than his head though.
He sized it wrong, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I think it would look funny if you because there's flesh, right? How thick is this flesh up here?
Okay.
I don't know, but I think it would look funny if you
he's
put
just like touching his head.
skull on top of a. So maybe
like a
it's
mask.
Necessary to make it bigger.
Yeah. So for
it was
those
kind
of you,
you're right. It was kind of comically bigger.
For those of you who haven't seen the movie, which is probably the majority of you, when he turns into Ghost Rider, he doesn't have his head and face anymore. He has like a skull that's on fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or hands, or
in his hands, like he's
skeleton.
just a fire skull.
Yeah. Everybody knows what Ghost Rider is, right?
Well, I didn't.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, fine. Rebel Wilson first movie for her. Fun fact.
First movie?
Yeah.
Wow, you're so good at keeping secrets from me.
Yeah, and it was hilarious.
It was so funny, and I caught her first because you did see.
I saw her. Oh yeah. I saw her in IMDb as part of the cast, and I was like, oh my gosh, we got to look for her.
Yeah. She was really funny. I love her.
Yeah. So the battles with the 4 demons. So he goes out, and so he's the devil. The Mephisto's making him chase down these demons. So he's taking them out one by one. They all sucked. They ended in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like he was so overpowered.
Yeah.
You know, there was no like interesting. I mean, I'm like, honestly, we were doing arts and crafts during this movie.
Yeah,
like, I was
we
preparing
were.
for my D&D campaign,
Yeah.
so we were kind of not. I mean, I was paying attention, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's probably why the movies were so much shorter back then, because they just kept those plot lines moving. Because this movie was like,
Yep. Battle end. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, attack. Okay, you're dead. Attack. Okay, move on.
Yeah. And it didn't take much to kill the final boss either. Like
Yeah.
it really wasn't, because so he never actually, he doesn't fight Mephisto in this movie. That happens in 2 Ghost Rider, 2 Furious. But
Which we won't be watching.
Haley, that's not the name of the movie. That was a joke.
What'd you say?
Everybody else got it. It's fine.
You're so funny, Hoagie. I love you.
I was like, dang it, laugh at my joke. I'm so funny. I'm funny. Tell me I'm funny.
Okay.
Waiter at the
Okay,
restaurant.
Eva.
Am I funny? So yeah, the final boss had like the 1,000 souls in him, and then Ghost Rider just like, you know, he shoots him with a shotgun a few times. Eva Mendes learns how to use the shotgun, and it runs out of bullets. And
So there's this whole other side plot line that you're forgetting.
Oh yeah, sorry. What is it?
To talk about is the Western aspect and this other guy
Yes.
who's like the cemetery grave
Yes,
caretaker.
So yeah, the cowboy at the beginning.
What's his name? Sam Collins, or
I don't know,
he's like that Western guy.
He's the guy.
Always,
He's the cowboy.
Yeah. He's like a caretaker at the graveyard, and he's trying to tell Johnny Blaze, like, kind of instruct him or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So he's
I'm
at
bad
the
at
beginning of the
explaining.
movie. Yeah, so it's fine. He's the beginning of the movie. He's from the 19th century, and but he's with the powers. He lives a long time.
Yeah.
And so he's like the grave guy, digger / caretaker at this graveyard. Cemetery is what we call them in the real world, but in horror movies, the graveyard.
Yeah.
But every time Johnny Blaze comes back from his Ghost Rider form, he somehow ends up in the cemetery.
Yeah.
And the guy like doesn't really seem shocked by it ever. He just is kind of like, your motorcycle's okay, just so you know, and
Yeah.
like, you know, like, how long have I been out? And he tells them, and you know. So then you find out that he's also a Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And he has a horse. He has a flaming skeleton horse.
Yes.
And then Ghost Rider has a flaming skeleton motorcycle. And they ride. He's like, let's ride. And that scene was like kind of cool,
I know
but it
that.
lasted longer than it needed to, but it was
No,
cool.
I don't think it lasted long enough. That scene was epic.
Yeah, it was.
That
pretty
was
cool. You're right.
everything. I was like, oh no, is this happening? And then I was like, oh yes, it's happening.
And I don't understand. Like for me, I don't know, because the Ghost Rider comic's been around so long, but apparently you can only turn so many times. I don't know, but he's like, I got one last morphin time in me. And so yeah, he uses up his last Ghost Rider morphin, but
Power.
but doesn't do anything with it. All he does is ride.
Right.
And then he disappears again from the movie. Like he just rode. They just rode together. for
Rode
this
off
epic,
into the sunset.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
It was into the sunset. It was this epic
It was
scene.
very
yeah.
cheesy. It was like, this is the whole reason we wrote this movie, was for this scene.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Fine with me.
Yeah,
Honestly, a 10-minute YouTube clip of just
Yeah.
that on loop would be fine.
Perfect. Just watch that instead.
I just need that to be like my screensaver. So yeah, and then there's a kind of a Beauty and the Beast ending, because Eva Mendes says, "I am."
That was so funny.
Thanks. I redeem myself. No, I'm just kidding. So Eva Mendes is like, touches his face. His face turns blue so she can touch it, and she's
Yeah.
like, touches his face, and then he turns back human anyway. But
Yeah, and she's like in love with his Ghost Rider form or whatever. It's so cringy.
I am not afraid.
Hoagie was
Oh my
like,
God.
okay, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are my notes on the movie
Yeah,
itself.
me too.
Okay, so I got some fun facts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hoagie coming in with the fun facts. I love it.
Nick Cage has a Ghost Rider tattoo. Had it before the movie. They had to cover it up with makeup.
He had it before the movie?
Oh yeah.
So he's like a big fan.
He's a big fan of Ghost Rider. He campaigned to play this part. Like he really wanted to play this
Wow.
part.
What's
yes.
his tattoo of?
Ghost Rider.
Okay, on the motorcycle? Like that
probably
whole
just his
thing?
flaming skull. I don't know. Like his
Oh,
logo is
okay,
the flaming
okay.
skull.
Gotcha,
so
gotcha.
I haven't seen it. I don't
Okay.
know, but I know they had to cover it up, for filming, because he couldn't have a
Yeah.
tattoo.
A big fan of myself.
So yeah, he really wanted to play the part. Stan Lee did not appear. You probably noticed, but
Yeah.
Sad. One of the
Yeah.
few movies in Marvel where was no Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
So some more about Nick Cage and how much he loves comics. So his stage name, Cage, because that's not his name.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So he took it from Luke Cage.
Shut up.
Yeah, that was his idea. You know, he was like, I like Luke Cage, and
wow.
so he's Nick Cage. His name, it starts with a C, but it's like sort of maybe Italian.
So what's his real name? Oh, you just said.
I don't know.
Okay, starts with a C maybe.
Yeah, it has more letters in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't prepare.
No, that's okay. I don't ever prepare.
Also, his son's name is Kal-El. Yeah. So
The Superman.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Huge comic fan.
Also, it sounded like you were about to say my dad's name. I was
I mean, I did.
What? Kal-El.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Haley, how do you rate this movie?
2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. 2. Wrote it down.
And that was, I really wanted it to be a 1, but I think that the end scene really is what gave it that whole extra point.
The cowboy, yes.
Yeah.
That 2 minutes basically.
Right, yeah.
Of just back and forth.
And just
they were
like
able to keep up in speed and
there
stamina.
is something for me that's like, it's funny to watch a movie like that and you know it's going to be like ridiculous and not great, just like watching a bad movie. Like that was like a fun experience for me, like to watch a bad movie. I don't know.
Yeah. I love a good bad movie.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. What do you give it?
Okay, so I wrote down, I don't have much to say about this film. It was terrible. And not in a good, terrible way.
See, I did think it was a good, terrible way.
I love it. No, it was not.
Not
sorry.
for you, huh?
Not for me. Not for me. But
that's okay.
Sorry. So sad about it. Since Nick Cage was super into this, I wish it could have been better for him. And I have to give it a 1 out of 5 star.
Okay.
And but I
that's
did.
fair.
I did. So you know, in my ratings, you know, kind of lower than audiences, lower than critics, even pretty much. But I do feel like it might be a little unfair of me because it's hard for me always to put myself in that 2007 mindset, let's say, and so like how would I have felt about this when it came out? So yeah, the standard is just so much higher now for Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like, you know, playing into, you know, and I have my own bias. So.
Yeah, I get that. I'm so surprised to hear that Nicolas Cage was such a fan and like this was like a big deal for him because that did not come across on the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just like,
what was he supposed to do? Be like, wow, Mephisto.
I don't know. But just like it seemed like it wasn't like, I don't know. It just didn't seem like he was that passionate about the role. I guess. So, but okay, a 1 out of 5. No, that's fair. I get that. So we have to end the podcast now. We do our lows and highs.
TM,
yeah. Because we don't want to end on a low. So we
end
always
on a high
note. Yeah. So what was your low this week, Hoagie?
Well, it was very busy and I lost sleep and I like sleep.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to say that's a low though. I think just the busyness was a low, but all the things we were doing were fun things.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I still had a great time.
And we totally forgot about a food thing. We had the pizza too, because we had the birthday party. At downtown.
A local theater bar.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah, there we go. We went out to eat a lot.
Yeah,
We're
much.
Like cut off for the month. Yeah.
Honestly.
But I think so that, you know, that losing the sleep, you know, kind of, but like I think the main thing is I think I'm allergic to our dogs. I've been trying to narrow down where my allergies are, and I've started to notice it's like only when I'm home. In our house, like, this isn't a braggy thing or anything, but like we mostly keep the house pretty clean.
Yeah,
so
you don't clean.
I clean when you ask me to.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I love to clean. So,
we even have like we have an air purifier in our bedroom, our living room, and the basement down here.
You've been struggling with this allergy issue.
It's been awful, and I think it's got to be the dogs. I don't know, which really bums me out.
Yeah,
I think Bernard is probably hypoallergenic too.
It's
so
gotta
it's gonna
be
Chloe.
Yeah.
Sorry,
girl.
Chloe,
you gotta go. Just kidding. Just kidding. Dad's gotta go. JK, Yogi. So my low this week, or were you done? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Were you done? Okay.
Yeah.
My low this week was also the lack of sleep. I did not get great sleep at the beginning of the week, and when for those of you that know me, when I do not get good sleep, it is not good. I'm bad vibes. So it's just, I really struggle with having like sleep anxiety issues and stuff like that. So it was just kind of a rough week for me in the sleep department until like Thursday. I finally felt like I got a good night's sleep. So I'm hoping, it's just like we had a lot going on. So it's just, I wasn't sleeping very well because I was thinking about all the things we had going on. So I'm hoping this week is better in that department.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what about a high?
Oh, my high. Well, I said I didn't like the Kanin Wren experience, but I think that's a high.
Oh, last night?
Yeah. I think I'm doing 2 highs and 2 lows this week. Sorry. And then,
that's okay.
So like
it's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
That's true. Last night was fun. Singing. The crowd exhausted me. When I got home, I just, even like one of my dogs, like Bernard, was like really super cuddly. And I was like, I don't want to be touched right now. Like you're going through the crowd, like you bump into people. And I just was like stimulated in that regard. So I was like, everyone get away from me. And I just laid in bed for 10 minutes. But but it was fun. Yeah. In the moment, it was fun. It wasn't until afterward that I was just like, ooh.
It's just like we don't want to leave our house for like a month now, I feel like.
Yeah. And D&D, I guess that was fun. I got to play twice this weekend, but and I'll highlight the one that I DM'd was a lot of fun.
Nice.
So.
Mine was all the Taylor Swift stuff this week was just so great. Watching the Eras tour, and then last night as well. It was a really good time. I had fun. It was nice to go do something different. But also the weather yesterday was really great. That was also one of my highs too. I got to sit outside on the deck for the first time, and Bernard sat with me, which is such a big deal because I don't know, a lot of people know, but we had to put our dog down in July, and he was like my red boy. He was 15, and he followed me everywhere and was my best buddy. And now Bernard is filling his shoes very nicely, and it just makes me really, really happy. I'm very thankful.
Yeah,
for
I
him.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a plan for the next movie. Do you have any ideas? Is there anything you want to watch?
No, I haven't. Maybe we should have someone write in and let us know what they think we should watch. Maybe that should be our question on the Spotify.
Maybe. That's a risk because we don't get a lot of engagement there.
Yeah. We'll think of something though.
Yeah. So yeah, when we decide, let's just we'll post it on Instagram if you want to follow
on our stories.
Along. So,
yeah.
If you want to know more about the show and stay in touch in between episodes, or maybe you want to watch the movie so you're prepared for the discussion.
Yeah.
Instagram's a great place to where we try to post some info.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, this has been fun.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
I hope everyone
listening.
has a great week, and you will hear us
next time.
Monday. Next Monday. Always Marvel Mondays.
Mondays.
Marvelously Monday Mary. Marvelously Married Monday.
Okay, bye. Love you guys.